here's a video of cranky Uncle Joe. Now, in this video, he takes a thinly veiled shot at Bernie Sanders, and this is in response to a question about appointing Obama to the Supreme Court. A very weird and lame question. Again, by the way, I just realized this now. If you look at this, it's literally a nursing home. Every fucking event that Joe Biden does, for some reason, it's always a nursing home. There's never a nice diversity of age. It's always just a bunch of geezers. So, let's go ahead and hear this out.
Would you consider appointing Obama for the Supreme Court?
Yeah, I would, but I don't think he'd do it. He'd be a great Supreme Court justice.
Second question is, which Obama?
Well, I sure would like Michelle to be the vice president. They're both incredibly qualified people. I mean, and they're such decent, honorable people. I found it strange yesterday that in that Republican presentation they talked about maybe Obama should have been impeached. I mean, like, you know, whoa. Anyway, but my point is, we even have some Democrats running who in 2012 thought that President Obama should be primaried. I thought he's a pretty good president, and I was proud to serve with him, and I'm proud to do everything I can to build on where we left off and move. You had a question.
So there's a lot to break down there. Now, the person that he is referencing, in terms of the person running who wanted to primary Obama in 2012, that's none other than Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders actually apparently flirted with a run against Barack Obama in 2012 because he was sick and tired of how centrist and right-wing Barack Obama had came in. He's like, dude, we need to have a primary for Obama, and I'm actually now in favor of primarying Elizabeth Warren as well. Not because I think that the primary candidate against Elizabeth Warren would emerge victorious, but because having a primary candidate, a more progressive candidate, run against Elizabeth Warren would inevitably pull Elizabeth Warren to the left. So I'm fully now behind a primary candidate against Elizabeth Warren for her Senate seat. I'm fully behind that. And I would be fully behind an Obama 2012 primary because he was making this right-wing turn, this centrist turn, and so he wanted to make a more progressive primary. All right? Now, number two, Joe Biden is clearly employing a strategy here of trying to basically capitalize on the, I don't know what you would call it, the fondness, the, nostalgia is the word that I'm looking for of Barack Obama now that we have a president of the United States who can't even speak in, complete sentences. And so he's trying to cash in on that support, which he largely has sort of cashed in on that support, He largely has cashed in on that. He largely, his African-American support is because of Barack Obama being his president, him being the vice president. And I think that him saying that Barack Obama was a pretty good president tells me a good divide between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. Obama was not a pretty good president. I would give him maybe like a C+, or a C-, D+. He did the bare bones to sort of revamp the economy and bring the superficial numbers back up. But there was no real, any sort of structural change. There was no Medicare for all. There wasn't even a public option, and he started the negotiations with the public option. And there was no real change. And all of the stuff that he did got eroded as soon as he left. That's how you know all of his stuff was just a Band-Aid. And that's why we need Medicare for all. You know how difficult it's going to be to repeal Medicare for all once it's in place? It's like the difference between putting a bandage on a wound and getting surgery. Once you get that surgery, you can't go back. But if you get a bandage, peel that shit right off. So that is why, I sort of feel like a really good description and testament as to why, a Barack Obama, or how Barack Obama was centrist and sort of mealy-mouthed and weak. And so that's what's going on here. And he's trying to take a shot. Like, imagine that being your shot at Bernie Sanders. Oh, he wanted to primary him from the left and from a more progressive perspective. Like, really, that's your attack on Bernie Sanders? He's getting pretty desperate. He's just trying to tout the name Obama at literally every turn he could go. And that question framing, by the way, was really cringy, where, first of all, the question of whether or not appointing Obama to the Supreme Court is lame as hell. And then the second question where it's like, which one? Is like, it almost seemed like a zinger that was ready. It's like, and everyone's laughing. Boomer humor, of course. Boomer humor is what this is. But again, one more time, it's literally a nursing home, is what it looks like to me. But that's Joe Biden for you.